Hello, my friends. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy, amazing day to each and every one of you. Thank you for taking time out of your day and devoting it to this next perhaps 75 minutes or so. We've got a very special experiential journey that we're going to take you on, and I'm really excited for myself because I'm always taken aback by these experiences, and I'm excited for you because you get to experience the power of breath work and you get to meet one of my dear friends and mentor who has profoundly changed my life in a very meaningful and positive way. And perhaps this could be the spark that changes your life as well as it did for me. You're welcome to have your cameras on or off, whatever you feel called to. It's easy to have your camera on because it's a little bit more engaging. And what I would also encourage you to do is, if it's accessible to you, to have your headphones so that you can go a little bit deeper into the experience. And certainly, if your spouse or loved one or even your children are around, I would definitely invite them into the conversation because they will all greatly benefit from the experience. So, again, thank you all. The invitation is to fully engage and participate. Feel free to ask questions as we go through this. We will ask everyone to stay muted just so we can respect the space and the speakers. However, we will open it up for questions towards the end. So you'll be able to definitely ask questions and get them answered. We'll give everyone just a few minutes to get settled in and get comfortable. We'll start off by just having a conversation, sharing a little bit more about our story, our background, and then in a few minutes, I'll introduce my friend and mentor, Giovanni, and we'll have an enlightening conversation, I hope, and I'm certain rather. And we will then take you through an experiential breath work so you can experience the power of breath work for yourself. And I've had many people ask me how they can go deeper either into their own practice or how they can introduce this to their communities. Many of you are practitioners, I see, which is awesome. And what I feel like breathwork is a untapped opportunity for your own personal healing and transformation. But as you'll quickly find out, as I did, it's very powerful for our clients. It's something that they are seeking and searching for and may or may not even realize it until you introduce it to them. So hang tight. We'll just let technology do its thing. There's people that are continuing to pop in here. As I mentioned, feel free to have your camera on or off, whatever feels right for you. And feel free to ask questions in the chat as we go. Just as we get settled in, if you'd like to type into the chat where you're from, it's always cool to see where people are tuning in from. So you can go ahead and type that into the chat. We'll get the chat engaged. Just type in where you are from, and I would love to acknowledge you. So, hey, Judy from Connecticut, great to have you here. I see Karen is here. Nice to see you, Karen. Barbara's here. I know you're both from Toronto. Hi, Amy. Nice to see you. Win, it's great to see you as well. I see Christy's here. We have Kidela from Florida, Christy from Edmonton, Shilpa from Guelph. Hey, Shilpa. Marsha's here from Toronto. Amazing. All right. So we've got quite the eclectic group of folks that are joining us today. Milton, Ottawa, Pennsylvania, UK, Colorado. Amazing. I think we're representing many, many different time zones. All right. So why don't we jump right in, and those that will join us as we get started. I want to introduce and bring to the stage my dear friend, mentor, my brother, Giovanni Bartolomeo. Gio, how are you today, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic and super grateful to be here with your community, with you, Sachin. It's always a pleasure speaking with you. And I know Sachin calls me his mentor, but he's also my mentor in so many ways as well. And I'm sure all of you can appreciate that or understand that because he's just a wealth of knowledge, mentally, physically, emotionally, even spiritually. He teaches me so many things. So I'm very appreciative of our friendship and appreciative of this opportunity to meet some of your community that you always speak so highly of. So it's great to meet you. And I will say, like Zoom meetings have like obviously become the norm since COVID, but if you feel brave enough to come on camera, it helps me to kind of connect with you guys more. I don't know most of you guys, so it's an invitation. I'd love to see you guys, and it's beautiful to see your faces. That who's on the other side of those black squares and fancy names. So if you feel called, I'd super appreciate it. But again, if you're shy still, that's okay too. Thanks for those that just put their camera on. Hello, good to see you.
But one thing you have to know about our community geos, some of them are in the witness protection program. So
Okay, that makes sense.
they're hiding, they're running,
You
they're
should
on
have
the
known. They're
loose.
your friends, and I'm sure breaking boundaries and breaking rules and stuff like that.
So you have to be careful, right? To get on camera. Uh, no, it's always great to have you on camera. And especially when we're doing a breathwork class, because we want to see how you're breathing. We want to be able to coach you. We want to be able to guide you. And as you would probably appreciate if you're hosting a class, that your clients or your attendees would come on camera. There's actually as people are getting settled in, there's actually a conversation that I had with somebody that they would actually literally kick people off. They would go one by one and kick people off their meetings if they weren't on camera. We're not going to do that today, but
Next
it's
time,
actually,
the
yeah,
next
next
time.
time. Amazing. So I'll start with a little bit of backstory about myself and perhaps how I met Geo and got introduced to breathwork. So it was February, probably around 7, 8 years ago now. The time escapes me. And my friend Jordan called me up and he says, "Hey, do you want to go to a Wim Hof class?" And some of you might know Wim Hof, the Iceman. This is when the Iceman documentary had just come out and it was gaining a lot of popularity. And I said, "Sure, let's do it." And he's like, "Bring your swim trunks." I'm like, "Where are we going?" Because it was February in Toronto. And I'm like, "Okay, let's go." And we went to this place in Bolton, Ontario, just a little bit north of where I live. And it was a yoga studio, I believe, if I recall correctly. And I walked in and I saw Geo at the front, and there's all these amazing humans. And so many of them had this beautiful glow to their skin. And just you could see their auras and feel their energy. And I'm like, that's interesting. And it was very palpable and very visible. And I brought my camera with me because I like to kind of document my life and share my experiences. And I think Geocott noticed that, and I asked permission. Hey, is it okay if I record? And he's probably like, "Who is this guy recording? Like, what's going on here?" And he was gracious enough to let me record my experience. And so he took us through this awesome Wim Hof training experience. And by the end of it, I was able to hold my breath for about 3.5 minutes, which I didn't even think was possible. And then they said, "Put your trunks on." And we all went outside and got into this little kiddie pool that was filled with ice and water. And we did some what you might call cold plunging. And it was awesome because there was a whole community of us that had just finished this class. And we were just all amped up and super excited. And we are all cheering each other on. And individually, for 60 to 90 seconds, we got into this ice bath. And then we got out and there were no towels. That was the other thing. So we're outside, February, Toronto, no towels after getting into this pool. And the goal was to use your breath and to create body heat to dry yourself off. And so we were able to do that. So it's quite remarkable what you can do with your breath. And so, from that point forward, I think Giovanni and I became, just really fast friends. And then, Giovanni at one point had a studio called Elemental Wellness in Vaughan. And so I had attended there frequently and provided all different types of services, float tanks, sauna, colonics, and then also yoga classes, nutrition classes. It was a pretty cool space for healing to take place. And a lot of people have healed in that spot. And one day he was hosting a breath work, much like what we're going to be experiencing today. And so I went there, and I think I can't remember when the spark lit for Geo, but he wanted to train other people because he was seeing such profound results and shifts in individuals. And so I was part of the first class that went through his training, and boy, did it change my life, especially around COVID time when, things were a little dicey. We didn't know how things were going to be going. Community was everything. So hanging around with like minded people was very valuable to me. And, through Giovanni's training, I picked up a new skill set that I could not only offer in person to people, But at that time, very importantly, I could offer online to people. So that kind of became the beginning of my journey once I became a facilitator to be able to offer breathwork experiences to people online. And what was really cool is that the shifts were so profound for people going through the experiences. And I know some of you here have gone through it with me and perhaps other people. And it was amazing because it brought us all together, no matter where we were from all corners of the earth. It brought us all together. It brought us in unison, all breathing together, having these shifts and transformations. And each person is like this kernel of popcorn that just pops when they have that peak experience for themselves. And then we would do integrations and share our experiences. And what's cool about breathwork is that you could do it for 5 minutes, you could do it for half an hour, you could do it for 1 hour, you could do it for 90 minutes. I mean, there's really no lower or upper limit. And once I started going down the breathing rabbit hole, so not just breath work, but also breathing, I started training with James Nestor and the art of living, and just started acquiring this knowledge that I didn't learn in functional medicine, didn't learn in chiropractic school, didn't learn anywhere else. And once I started learning the information, I was like, I think everyone needs to know this. I'm like, why did we not learn this information? And I won't get into that today because that's a whole, keynote in and of itself. But if you're not paying attention to how your clients are breathing, you're missing a very, very important insight into their nervous system. And, they say the eyes are the window to the soul, the breath is a window into the nervous system. We breathe 30 pounds of air a day, so we consume more air in a day than food in a week. Your biggest lymph nodes are underneath your diaphragm. Your diaphragm is referred to as your second heart. And your diaphragm also is one of the key factors in your myofascial system. So if you have people dealing with chronic pain, trauma, grief, okay, poor stagnation, lymphatic issues, then there's all kinds of things that are associated to dysfunctional breathing. And, if people didn't have trauma before 2020, I think after 2020, everyone had some form of trauma. And it was fascinating to me that with a upper respiratory virus, if it was even real, who knows at this point, um, that nobody was talking about breathing. Like the governments weren't talking about it, the medical professionals weren't talking about it. So I saw an opportunity to take this information and share it with as many people as I could. Gio did the same thing and shared it with as many people as he could. And in doing so, he built up an army of breathwork facilitators and practitioners. And so it's been wonderful to, be part of that mission and that journey and to bring this to as many people as I can. And what's also been really great for me is that and I hope for many of you, if a spark lights inside of you today, is that it's opened up so many doors, both professionally and personally. And it's been wonderful to see like the stages it's taken me on, the opportunities that it's created for me to be of value at any event I go to. Like, it's pretty cool. So next week I'll be doing breath work at Cellcore's event. Some of you might be there. And I did a keynote last year at their annual event, which was a huge hit. And then this year I'll be facilitating breath work 6 different times during the 3 days of the event. So it's just been amazing to see that there's an opportunity for all of us to add value no matter where we go. And so it's awesome. It's life changing. It opens doors outwards and inwards. And as you study breath and breathing, what you'll realize is that it's connected to our spiritual health, it's connected to our physical health, it's connected to our emotional health, it's connected to our traumatic experiences, and it's connected to our lymphatic function, our cardiovascular function, our detoxification. 70% of your detoxification takes place through your lungs. So if that's an area that you specialize in, I think that's important to know. For every 10 pounds that you lose, 8.4 of those pounds is through the lungs. So if you're into metabolic health or weight loss, if you're wondering where does the weight go, most of it is exhaled through carbon dioxide. And so it really touches a nerve in every area of our lives. And it's so simple yet profound. It's something you take everywhere you go. It's something that you can teach people, and very quickly they adapt it and learn from it. And it's one of those things um, that can create a perceivable shift in people in a very short period of time. I say that breath is the fastest adaptogen. So it works really, really quickly. It's measurable. There's thousands upon thousands of studies that are done on breathing. And it's one of the things that you can implement very quickly into your practice. So the learning curve isn't very steep. Mastery obviously takes time, just like anything. However, the implementation of it is is quite easy. Way easier than functional medicine. Okay, so there's in this steep learning curve, and it's one of those things that affects us whether we're awake or whether we're sleeping. Okay, and so we've started teaching people how to breathe, and it's been life changing for them. So life changing. I get emails every day from people's lives that have been changed by simply teaching them how to breathe. So I'm forever grateful to Gio for introducing this to me, to Jordan for inviting me to go to the Wim Hof training, and to all of you for wanting to learn more and hopefully level up your skill set. And even if you learn one or two breathing techniques today, that's a great place to start. And for those of you that want to go a little bit deeper and perhaps, start your own breathing practice or want to facilitate for others, we'll share with you how you can do that today as well. So that's a bit about my story. I'll leave it at that for now. Gio, I'd love for you to share how you got into this work and what inspires you, no pun intended, to spread this message and propagate it all over the world.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sachin. I love hearing your stories, and I'm sure you can talk for hours about it. And I love the way you just have all of these, like, you're just like talking like meme creator. Like you create these like one-liners that I just like, oh, I gotta write that one down. Just you're so good at that. So for me, how to get into breath work? I never know where to start this, but growing up, I was conditioned to believe that net worth and self worth were the same thing. So in order to be important, to be special, to be successful, I had to make money. My parents were like second generation. They came from like really hardworking, European families, and it was all about work, 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 save, 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 then work till you're 65 and retire, and like that was a good life. And so, I kind of followed that path. My dad wanted to be a chartered accountant, although I love numbers, I hate accounting and monotonous things, like more like novelty and experiential stuff. And I realized that pretty quickly. And when I was in college, I dropped all my accounting, went to entrepreneurship, and was just chasing money, and for after maybe 10 years of that, I started making a little bit of money. Um, and around the same time, I had my first real health scare. I wasn't sick, but I had convinced myself that I was dying. And in that space, in that belief, you start your nervous system starts getting out of whack. You stop sleeping, you start stressing out, your breathing changes. And what happens? I started manifesting symptoms, because of the stress level that I was putting myself under. So it's a long story, but it was the first time I started realizing, or looking back, I saw like, wow, like what I thought created my reality and how powerful that was. And it actually got me looking into health and researching, all of the things that I guess Western medicine, like everything was like drugs and money related. I started asking all these questions. I wasn't really ready to transform yet, but that was it. Started fasting, started looking to health, started getting really interested in that. And as I'm, making money, probably half of it was just being burnt out and overworked. I had this realization one day that everything I was doing, and at the time I was the number one cannoli salesman of imported cannoli in North America. It's like a funny kind of thing that I realized, and maybe something to be proud of. Also, like how meaningless it was. It was like an accomplishment that meant nothing, right? Because nothing I was doing was having really any impact. I had this realization one day. It was almost like a daydream where I saw my hands look like my grandfather's hands sitting at the edge of my bed. And at this time, I wasn't really into spirituality or anything like this. Like this voice came and it was like, "Oh, you're a pretty clever guy. You figured out how to live kind of a comfortable life. You're gonna wake up in the same bed every year after year, go on your one vacation. You're driving a car, you're paying off your mortgage, and you're gonna be 80 years old. You're gonna look back and you're gonna be like, what did I do that was meaningful, important, left an impact on someone? Like it just felt meaningless." And I realized in that moment that I felt unfulfilled. I know a lot of people that are in the healing space have probably went through their own kind of personal journey of transformation or wanting to give back and help others. And so you guys can probably relate in some way. But I realized the feeling I was feeling was unfulfillment, lack of purpose and fulfillment. And once I realized what that was, it was like this weight I was carrying around. So the businesses I was in, I started like not wanting to do that anymore, fighting with partners. And I realized I needed to change something. And the first thing that I did, because now like my awareness was like looking for things, so like my reticular activating system was starting to see the things that were always there. And I heard about a thing called ayahuasca plant medicine. We won't talk about go into that today. I'm sure Sachin already did a webinar on that. But that was the first thing that kind of like ripped me out of my bubble. And I told my wife, who was pregnant at the time with their second child, I'm gonna go down to the jungle, drink this, magic brew, and crap my pants, lose my mind for a couple of days. I think it's gonna be really good. And she was like, "Are you crazy?" A lot of negotiation. I went, and the thing about that experience was it humbled me and it made me realize I knew nothing about anything. I was like this little ant wandering through the universe, no clue of like how I got here, what the whole meaning is, the purpose. And I realized I need to expand my horizons. So when I got back to Toronto, I started looking for people that were very different from me. I grew up in a community that was everyone thought the same, looked the same, dressed the same, like everything was the same. And now I was ready to be uncomfortable and go to places that I would not find myself. And through that process, I started volunteering with websites that were into like consciousness and health and stuff like that. And I started a podcast and I met Wim Hof. I found this guy, like this guy's interesting. I want to interview him. And this is before he was super famous. And we became friends. He's like, come to my first training in Colorado. And I'm like, okay, perfect. I'm gonna go check this thing out. Not really knowing, thinking like, it's gonna be cool for my Instagram. I could take a picture with women in my shorts, maybe get some followers, silly kind of things like that were in my mind at the time. And I went there, and I would never forget the opening circle was about 40 people, all different walks of life, different ages, different backgrounds. And each person is sharing one by one about the transformation they had been through in the last year of their life by doing breath work. Can you guys hear me okay? Joyce says she can't hear me. Okay, okay. Sorry, Joyce. Um, through doing breath work, mindfulness, being in nature, cold exposure. So chronic addiction, chronic pain, insomnia, diseases, all kinds of them. People are sharing about diabetes, getting off medications, depression, anxiety, and I'm just hearing each person. And I'm just like, what is going on here? Like, I didn't think this was possible. I'd really not been into a lot of breath work or any of this stuff. I just kind of showed up. And when it got to me, it kind of felt like a bit of an imposter. I was like, hey, I don't know why I'm here, but I just thought it'd be a cool experience. So we do all these crazy things, climb the mountains, jump in the frozen lakes, a lot of breath work. And the last day, he leads us through this deeper breathing experience. So he's playing a drum. If you know Wim, he's like a mix of like a Buddha and a caveman. He's like very like stoic, but also very like raw and rugged. And I built this trust and just followed the process. And after like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes or so of breathing, I feel this vibration running through my body. And the next thing you know, I'm having this full out of body experience. I'm floating around the top of this room, staring down at myself. And I realized like I'm there, but I'm also here. And it kind of freaked me out. Like I thought I must have died. Maybe this cabin collapsed and this is like afterlife. I don't know. I wasn't really thinking, but felt the fear, snap back in my body, open my eyes. And I was like, the best way to describe it is I felt like I was reborn. Like I was just like taking that first breath. It was like a, and all of a sudden I feel this well of emotions. And I'm come from the school of like boys don't cry. There's always competitive people here. And before I can even think of like, hey, you're not crying right now, just like let it all out. And I was just like sobbing, like boogers, tears, everything. Like I felt like I was like 5 years old again. But in that moment, that voice came back and it felt so good to release. It's like, hey, you're doing a great job. Don't be so hard on yourself. Like there was this internal therapist that was kind of nurturing me in that moment. And it was the best feeling I ever had. And I realized that I was taking myself too seriously and I was trying too hard. I had all these expectations of, things I grew up with, being successful, having to make money. Like if you don't, you're gonna be a failure. People are not gonna like you. And after 15 minutes of crying in there and just sit there reflecting, first I was like, what the heck just happened? Like, how is that even possible? And two was like, okay, like I feel very different right now. Like something strange just happened and unlocked in that experience. And it lasted. Like the next day I felt different. I came back to Toronto and I felt different. I was like, okay, I need to figure out what this was. And so I just started trying to find teachers. This is probably back like 2015 in Toronto, and no one's really talking about breath work. And I'm finding myself in like hippie apartments doing like holotropic breath work, or someone's like teaching pranayama, like whatever I could find, I would go. And I just kept learning and diving deeper. And I started breathing to the rhythm of music. And I learned a lot from the Institute of Heart Math. I got to spend some time down in San Francisco with them, and they were teaching about heart coherence and these very powerful meditations. I started learning how the breathwork gets us out of our mind, shuts off the prefrontal cortex, very similar to like psychedelic experiences. And when that barrier and defense mechanism kind of dissipates, it allows you to go into your subconscious mind. It allows you to become very suggestible. And putting in these really powerful mantras and meditations, I was having these very profound experiences. So I had the center at the time that Sachin was talking about. So okay, I'm gonna try this with my community. Like there's always a bunch of guinea pigs who are willing to try whatever, jump in the ice bath or breath work. And I shared it with them, and they had those similar experiences. And so I had this class going, and people were coming, and it was just like cool and fun, and I felt so much fulfillment. Like that feeling, I'm sure you guys have recognized this, when you really truly help someone and they recognize like, thank you so much. Like this has been life changing for me. Like that feeling there when I felt that the first time, I was like, okay, like this is what fulfillment feels like, and now I was inspired to reach as many people as possible. So I couldn't really do that doing my own breathwork classes, right? There's a limit, we'd sell out. And then our studio, which took a while to get going, was finally starting to do a little bit better. And what I realized though is all the other modalities, it was maybe too soon for the area I was in. They weren't working that well, but this amazing community was being built around breathwork because in every experience, you're making these connections. I'm building a connection with this community that I'm building. And then COVID happens and everything shuts down. And I'm just like, man, the universe is just throwing me another curveball. Like what do I do now? And that's when everyone started asking me who'd been to my class, like, I want to learn how to share this with others. Can you teach me? I never ever thought of myself as a teacher before. And at first I was like, I don't know, let me think about it. Because they'd asked me before and I was too busy and I always had an excuse. And now I had no excuses. Like everything, the whole world has shut down. So like I can't say I don't have time or I'm too busy or whatever. And I went home and I meditated on it, and immediately, the insight came. It's like if your mission is to help as many people as possible, you just have to teach and not worry about the business, not worry about how it's going to work and all this stuff. Just follow your heart and do it. So okay, fine. So put the message out there. Sachin was one of them. Said, guys, okay, come. We're gonna figure this out. I just dumped everything in my brain on some paper, printed out this first makeshift manual, and we just did it for like 3 or 4 days. And then I'm like, okay, go home, practice with your friends and family, and come back in a week, and we're gonna share, what happens. This was like an experiment too at the same time. So when they came back, they started sharing these stories. I don't know if Sachin wants to share his, but like when Sachin shared his story with me about the experience he had, I felt that same feeling. I still get goosebumps when I think about it. You care if I share this story, Sachin?
No, by all means, go for it.
And this is not just Sachin. Like everyone had their own story, which was very similar. But he said, I did breathwork with my dad, and it was the first time I actually was able to. We expressed emotions. We shed a tear. We connected in a way that I felt like we hadn't been able to connect in either a long time or ever. I can't remember exactly how he said it, but the feeling that I felt when he shared that with me, and the truth and sincerity, the transformation that he felt, I also felt that I wasn't even in that experience. And that's when I knew, okay, I'm supposed to be teaching other people how to do this. Like this needs to be spread far and wide. And like what Sachin said earlier, is like, why don't they teach this in schools? Why don't they teach the kids in corrections, in recovery, in addiction, everywhere? And it's starting to happen now where a lot of these people are reaching out because they want to bring these programs into. That's why it's a massive opportunity right now for everyone to learn these skills. And so from there, it just organically grew. The community grew. I just was like following my heart and, trying to build a business around it, but not really trying. It was just happening. And we now have over 500 facilitators certified around the world. And the thing that I've learned about the certification process, and the most beautiful, most powerful thing is the transformation that the facilitator undergoes in the process. Like that was the key, because you're not just learning a skill to share with others, you are, but something within you starts to shift as well when you facilitate breath work, when you embody it and start doing it, because you become more aware of your breath, yourself, your thoughts, your feelings. Like all these practices, like the ayahuasca, meditation, yoga, mindfulness, it's all practice in self-awareness. And the more self-aware we can be, the more we can process the beliefs that we have, the traumas. Like trauma is like something that's happened to us. So that doesn't mean there's nothing wrong with us or broken, but we have this belief attached to it. This thing happened now. I'm afraid of, being in front of crowds, or I can't trust certain people, or I'm afraid of the dark, or whatever. And practices like this can help you to change that belief, to show you that it's not true. Okay, we won't get too deep into that today, but I started seeing these amazing transformations. And there's two sides of it. Like Sachin said, there's a functional breathing side of it that we teach people how to do, and there's a transformational side of the breathing, right? And so if you can hit clients on both sides, because when you do more functional breathing, your nervous system regulates, mental clarity, stress management, your ability to deal with stress because you practice your breathing. The stressful situations aren't that stressful. You don't go into fight or flight. You don't have that fuzzy, foggy mind because you're breathing calmly and clearly, and you keep under composure, and things happen and your mind can think of how to like deal with it. Energy optimization, sleep, mental clarity, like all of these things are through the fundamentals side of it, where we teach people how to breathe. And then we have the inner work, which is daily practice, which is more reflective. So, breath work can help you become more creative. There's this state, like a flow state with breath work. It's called transient hypofrontality, where you can drop into a flow state, where you get answers, where you can come up with solutions to problems that you couldn't previously think with your analytical mind. And that's actually, when I think about it, what actually helped me create elemental rhythm. I was doing all this breath work and these insights would come. It's like, try this, do this, add this. And I was just practicing on myself. You can release emotions, traumas, beliefs. Like if anyone's experienced breath work and had like a big emotional release, I've had many of them throughout. And over, every time you do breath work, it's something new. Sometimes it's like a breakthrough for me. Like initially, it's like, okay, I'm having this peak experience, crying, emotions. But also sometimes those moment of clarity, where that little insight's like, okay, you need to say sorry to your mom, or you need to, be more mindful of this, or be easier on yourself. Sometimes it's this little insight that's this powerful unlock that lets you get to that next step because it's holding you back. And so you always get what you need, not what you want. Some people like go into this deep meditative state where they feel like they get a ton of rest. And it's different every time. And I've seen some of the most incredible transformations. Like literally, when I share them, sometimes I don't even sometimes like, how is that even possible? And I'm sure all of you guys are familiar, especially if you're friends with Sachin, is like there's this strong link between, the emotional body and the physical body, and like for example, like epigenetics, right? You guys familiar with epigenetics? I'm a huge fan of biology belief, Bruce Lipton. It's not the genes that control your life, it's your perception of the environment, which is one of the keys. So epigenetics is like, I think it translates outside or above the genes. And it comes from signals from your environment, biochemical, emotional state, like fear versus safety, thoughts and belief. But a lot of the times, your perception of your environment is based on the things you believe about it. And if you can change that, you can change the whole environment, without actually even changing the physical environment. It's your beliefs about your perception. And that was one of the big unlocks for breath work, because it's also your inner environment and the beliefs you have about yourself is this huge things, like I believe I'm not good enough, or I believe that I'm not good at marketing, or all these things. When you start doing this work, you can start seeing where those beliefs come from and actually transforming them. And I've seen it happen time and time again. Sometimes in a single session, sometimes it's over time with some coaching and stuff like that. And we've seen how amazing this is adding to coaching, and how to rewire as you're creating a state of safety through breathing mechanics and these deeper practices, like incredible transformations. So, I'm gonna wrap here in a few minutes, but like when I was doing research on this, like hyper, um, chronic overbreathing. I can't remember what's the term for it. Anyways, when people overbreathe like chronically, they start having all these side effects. And there's a list that looks longer than you ever see those drug commercials when like side effects may include, and just like list like everything. Like those same side effects is like from chronic overbreathing. So like inability to sleep, circulation issues, frequent urination, dry mouth, dehydration, osteoporosis, like all of these things. And when has a doctor ever, and they all have obviously drugs that you can prescribe to fix all those things. But when has a doctor ever said like, hey, like I noticed you're not breathing well. Like how do we fix this? And if you fix your breathing, a lot of those things can go away. Um, that's on one side of it. And then the other side of it is that going back to like the physical and the emotional, like there's this German new medicine that I was looking into a little while ago. I don't know if anyone's familiar with it, but there's a story of like Dr. Hammer, and just to make a long story short, his son was shot and killed in the hospital, and within a year he developed testicular cancer, and his wife developed breast cancer. And he realized it was like this physical connection of the reproductive organs to his son. And through his work and his studies, which is not breath work, but it's just realized this link, and was healing people through kind of his own process. But what they deducted from it, or how they summed it up, was like the emotional body is going to start giving cues to the physical body. And when you don't listen to it, it's going to get louder and louder. So these traumas that we hold on to it initially, until they actually start screaming and come out as a physical disease in some way, shape, or form. Right? So when we're treating functional medicine, it's amazing. But if there's something inside that's a deeper trauma, that's emotionally based, like, we're getting to the root of a lot of the physical things. But if we can't shift that, it might be hard to break through some of our clients. And breathwork could be that tool that can help you to unlock that deeper healing. So I'll give you an example. Well, there's some general examples, like many people that have gone to breathwork, done the training, have gotten off all kinds of medication. So antidepressants, anxiety pills, sleeping pills, stuff like that. And that's just anecdotal of people that have shared that with me from doing breathwork daily. One guy, this is a funny story. I was invited to go to a retreat in Peru. Okay, so I was just there as a guest, and we're going all the sites, and we're on this huge platform out in beautiful Peru, stone temple, and they're like, "Gio, you want to do breath work for us?" It's like 10 guys. I'm like, "Okay, anyone got a speaker?" And they pull out this little like tiny USB speaker. I'm like, "Yeah, that'll work. It's fine." I had my phone, put my playlist on, and so we do this breath work. 10 guys, men's retreat, and a lot of guys are crying. This one guy was just like sobbing, like even like 10, 15 minutes after, just like really in it. So I went to go sit with him. I'm like, "How's it going? You okay?" His name is Jake. And he's just like, he looks at me and he's like, "I just healed my autoimmune disease." And I'm like, "What?" Like that's weird. But I've been in a lot of like ayahuasca ceremonies and a lot of places where in that space, people like I probably know like 4 future presidents of the United States because they've told me in this vision they had. And sometimes the vision is more of a metaphor or something that isn't exactly literal. But I was like, "Okay, like tell me about it." And he's like, okay, so that was the end of that story. So I didn't talk to him anymore. I just kind of took it at a grain of salt. 3 months later, I'm doing a retreat in Alaska, and Jake shows up out of the blue. And he's like, he comes in to this Airbnb we're at. He's got a pizza and a 6 pack of beer. And I'm like, he's like, "Yeah, I can eat beer and drink pizza now. No, eat pizza and drink beer now." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Remember in Peru?" I'm like, "Yeah, my autoimmune." I was like, "Holy shit." I'm sorry, excuse my French. And if you're French, I didn't mean to offend you. He's like, I'm like, "Oh my God, are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, tell me more." He's like, "In that experience, he grew up a Mormon. So in the Mormon religion, everything is like, you're bad, you're a sinner, you're going to hell type thing." And he ran away from home at a certain age. And he said, in that breath work, he goes, I went into this vision of my inner child locked in a cage. And for me, that was where I felt safe because I had to be away from everyone locked in. And in that moment that I went there, I allowed him to come out, told him it's safe now to come out. And as soon as that happened and I embraced him in a hug, I felt this huge weight come off my abdominal that I'd been holding there for my whole life. And a week later, I tried eating the food that if I would have ate it, I would have been bleeding and in the bathroom for hours, and it was no longer affecting me. And I was like, wow, that's like sounds like a miracle. Not that I had anything to do with it. Like he had the experience. Like he went on that journey and had that. I was holding the space for him, but I wasn't there trying to heal his gut issue. Like I was just creating this space. And it shows that all these nervous system things, like these traumas we hold, we put our state in this cortisol, adrenaline, fight or flight. We start having digestive issues, start having like sleep issues, all these things. But if that's in the subconscious belief, like I'm unsafe and I have to hide myself away, and I believe that I hold that my whole life, if something can unlock that, it can create this ripple effect into the physical body. Okay, and that's one of many stories, and I can probably tell stories all night, but I know we gotta get going to the breath work here soon. So I'll wrap these up. But I just want to say, like, it's an opportunity if you feel called to it. I'm not here to try to sell you that everyone needs to become a facilitator. I think everyone should be, but where it works is where you feel that pull, where it's like a curiosity within you, that intuition that feels that probably pulled you, the same curiosity that pulled you into becoming a functional medicine practitioner. There's something there that you felt like a curiosity. It doesn't mean you have to train with me. It means like explore breathwork more, like really look into it, figure out like how you can first adapt in your own life and then share with others. And we make sure that anyone who takes our training has to, be a product of the product. You have to do breathwork. You have to feel that transformation. So our whole process is a transformational process. And that's what I think is the most important part of becoming a facilitator is your own transformation. And it'll get you over other blocks, like I'm not good at marketing or, I'm not a teacher and all these things. And going through the process will help you to kind of break through those. So a few things just about how it could help your business. Then we're going to jump into the breathwork. Okay, cool. So the one thing that breathwork for sure will help you do is build a community, build a network, get leads for your business. When you lead classes, it opens up opportunities to speak, to go to events, to do all these things. But also, every group you have, one, you're going to create a bond with them. There's going to be trust built. You're going to actually want to learn more about what you do and who you are and what you offer, all the other things you do, like functional medicine. And they're also going to tell their friends about you. Like, had this amazing experience with Sachin. You got to check it out. You got to go learn from him. And it allows you to share everything that you do because they're going to be interested in you. And the other thing too is like group sessions, there's this power in community about feeling supported, feeling a part of something that right now in North America and the world, there's this isolation crisis where I think people are feeling depressed and lonely and isolated. And the effects that have on health there are probably studies, but underlying a lot of the issues that people are having is this kind of like isolation, feeling alone, and not having anyone to connect with. So it's amazing for that. It's amazing for building trust. It's amazing for getting referrals. Amazing for retention because people are we keep coming back, so we're getting results. It's a great way to create cool content and get opportunities. You can do workshops, retreats, corporate events, like Sachin, is doing all of them. Great example. Speaking engagements, experiential opportunities, like you name it. But the key thing is your own personal transformation. So at the end, we'll share a link if you want to learn more about what that looks like. I'd love to share with you guys and teach you guys. But first, we're going to do some breath work here. And I want to give you guys a little bit of experience. So who's ready for some breath work? Raise your hand. All those people with their camera off, I'm assuming all your hands are raised. Maybe you can type in the chat if you've ever done breathwork before. If you've ever done elemental rhythms, so our style, you can type that. That means like with Sachin. Maybe you've done another app, or if you're new to breathwork or if you've never done it before, you can type that in as well. Just curious to see. Like never, yes, many times. Okay, cool. Very cool. Okay, so first thing, if you're driving, you should be doing breath work. If you're anywhere we're getting lightheaded or dizzy because you have your cameras off, I can't tell, you're not going to want to do breath work. If you're pregnant or suffer from epilepsy, you're also not going to want to do breath work. So if you have any of those things or have any serious medical conditions, you're not going to do breath work, okay? But you can still listen along, do the meditation, do some gentle breathing if you feel that you fit one of those categories. Other than that, I shared a bit about my story. So just get into like how we're going to do this. Okay, so we're going to breathe in through our nose and into our diaphragm. So I'm sure, Sachin, you know what your diaphragm is, but if you want to practice, you put one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. And we're just going to start with a deep inhale through our nose and just try to expand your lower hand away from your belly. Okay, so deep breath in and then exhale. Okay, so that's belly breathing. Exhaling through the mouth. Okay, next breath, we're going to inhale twice. So into the belly and then into the chest like this. Exhale should be just relax the jaw, let it all out. Again, in, belly, into the chest, exhale. Just like that. So that's the mechanics. Now, if you have trouble diaphragmatically breathing, don't worry. What's most important is just try to do your best and not get stuck in your head. So if there's any type A's, got to get it perfect. It's not about getting it perfect. It's about just trying your best, okay? And you don't have to remember any of this stuff either. I'm going to be telling you the whole time. I'm just going to walk you through it once. So next thing I'll share is just the rhythm of the music, okay? The rhythm of the breathing. So there's four types of breaths, okay? There's earth breath, which is the slowest grounding thing of the earth. So it's in for 4, out for 4. We'll practice it once real quick. So in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, and out. Simple like that. The next one's water. Think about a little bit more of a flow. You're picking up the pace a little bit. So it's in for 2, out for 2. So be in, 2, out, 2. Just like that. Perfect. Air is going to be in for 1, out for 1. Try to keep your depth if you can. And fire breath, breath of fire. Think about like just, burning away whatever no longer serves you. And if you know pranayama, you can do breath of fire. If not, it can look something like this. Just really quick breaths, as quick as you can. Breath of fire is just forcing the exhalations. Be like this. Either one works. We can do it for about 30 seconds. So as we increase the cadence, we're going to decrease the amount of time we're doing it. So you're not going to be in fire for like 5 minutes or anything like that. At the end of each round, we're going to take a deep breath in. Do it with me all the way in. We're going to hold. Squeeze your pelvic floor. Engage your abdominals. We're going to exhale. We're going to hum. It's called Brahmari breath. You can put the tongue to the roof of your mouth. 3, 2, 1. And you do that as long as you can. Okay. So what this vibration does, it stimulates the vagus nerve. So it helps you to like increase vagal tone. But it also will help you to produce more nitric oxide, up to 1,500% more in the nasal cavities. That vibration will stimulate or shake the area of your nose that makes nitric oxide. So, and then you can have more of it. They say nitric oxide helps with a lot of the bodily functions, but also helps you to achieve altered states of consciousness. Okay, so recap, we're gonna breathe a little bit faster, a little bit faster, a little bit faster, hold, let it go. Okay, so that's basically it. Then I'll guide you through a little meditation, and we'll come back for some shares. If you have any questions about anything that was shared today from myself or Sachin. A few tips before we get started. So you wanna breathe deeply. Okay, if you just follow the rhythm, but you're not breathing deep, you're not gonna have as deep of an experience. However, you're in control. if it feels too intense or too much, like remember, like you want to try to find that edge. If you want to really see where it goes, you can lean into it. But if you feel like your nervous system is a little bit, razzled, or you're dealing with something really heavy right now, you don't want to go that deep, you just pull back and stop listening to me. Okay. So just listen to yourself. If you feel like you want to go for it, go for it. If not, you're in full control the whole time. Anything that comes up, a thought, a feeling, don't overthink about it. Feel it in your body. If something distracts you or makes you nervous, you don't like the music, my voice is annoying you, focus on where you feel annoyed in your life. Any external extraction, bring it inward. It's probably a cue for you to go deeper within yourself. Other than that, try your best, have fun. A few things you may experience. So it's good to know this in case you experience it, you think, you're dying or something. You may feel tingling throughout your whole body, in your face, in your arms. You may feel hot, you may feel cold, it may fluctuate throughout. You may have emotions come up. If you feel emotions come up, I strongly advise you to let them out. We don't want to push them back in. It means what's coming is going. We want to express it, whether it's laughter, whether it's crying. If you want to scream into your sleeve or into your pillow, it's good to let it out. You'll feel much better after. Sound could change. You may have visuals. We're only going to do about 20 minutes of breathing, so it's not a full session, but it should be enough to get you to go deep enough to have an experience. And the scariest thing that may happen is something called tetany. It's where your hands kind of claw up like lobster hands. It's not dangerous. It will come back after time. At any point you want the feelings to subside, slow your breathing down, extend your exhales, and it will come back to normal within a minute. Okay. The one last thing, if you've experienced panic attacks before, anxiety attacks, there may be some sensations that feel similar to that, but I assure you, you're not having a panic attack, but you're feeling that. And people that have had panic attacks have been able to use this breath work to realize that they can take control of their breathing in those situations. So if you start feeling some of those sensations, just know you can slow it down or you can stick with it if you like. Okay, thumbs up. Any questions before we get started? Good, ready to go. Okay, so you can do this seated. I would just make sure that you can lay back and rest. Like trying to do a yoga seat might be a little bit uncomfortable if you want to really drop in. You can also lie down on the floor, on a couch. It's probably the best to really kind of drop into it. Just want to make sure if you're lying down that your airway is open. You're not kind of curling into your chest and impeding your diaphragm. Okay, so if you need to switch your position, you get 30 seconds. We're gonna get going here. Okay, so have a good journey. And we're just gonna start, and hopefully you can hear me okay. Sachin, you're gonna be my volume control. So just by closing your eyes and taking a few slow, deep breaths. So in through your nose, deep into your diaphragm. And on your exhale, just slowly exhale and just relax your body. Relax your shoulders, relax your jaw, relax your belly. Another deep breath in. And again, as you exhale, just relax any tension you feel. Okay, so as you're breathing like this, I invite you to think of one thing you're grateful for today. It could be the sunshine, could be your pet, could be Sachin, whatever it is, just think of one thing you're grateful for. So we're bringing that frequency of gratitude. And then I invite you to set an intention for this experience. It could be a single word, it could be something you want to let go of, something you want to invite more of into your life, maybe a burning question, just to kind of set the tone. So what is your intention? To let go, to surrender, to trust. And I want you to imagine taking that intention like it's a seed of light and just planting it in your heart as a potential that we're going to breathe into. Okay. Okay, so we're just going to start getting to the rhythm here of the music. So a few deep breaths in, and I'm going to count you into our first breath, which is the earth breath. So it's going to be, remember, in for 4, out for 4. Okay, so just do your best, full deep breaths. So in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, and out. Into the nose, and out. In, and out. So deep into the belly, up into the chest. Exhale, relax your jaw, let it all out. Just focus your awareness on each breath as it moves in through your nose, as it moves through your body. Each breath a little bit deeper than the last. Feel the expansion in your belly, in your rib cage, all the way up, all the way out. And just follow your rhythm, because I can't see most of you. If my in is your out, just follow along the best you can. Don't overthink it. Just focus your awareness on each breath. That's it. Belly, chest, full exhale. Relax your jaw. Let it all come out through your mouth.
Breathing deeply, I am ready for the long run.
Just closing your eyes. Bring your awareness to each breath. All the way in. Sharp inhale. Fill it right up, all the way up to your collarbone. As you exhale, relax your jaw. It's like a ha, like a you don't need to blow or purse your lips. In and out. 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. Deep breaths. With intention. Just connecting with yourself, trusting yourself, connecting with your breath, the breath of life, the chi, the prana. Remember, full breaths. Feel your belly expand up into the chest. Bring your awareness to each breath. Follow it in. Feel it move through your nose, into your body and out again. Okay, we're going to pick it up here, moving to the water breath. I'll guide you. So, in, 2, out, 2. In, out. Just like that. Keep that rhythm going. In, out. Stick with it. Don't give up. You're doing great. Belly, chest, exhale. Belly, chest, exhale. Deeper and deeper with each breath, just letting go of the mind, dropping into the body, the intelligence of the body. Keep breathing. In, out. Yeah, we don't need to force the exhale, we just want to let it all out. Just like that, perfect. Keep going. Okay, air breath. So in, out, out.
Radiating like a warm sun, like a warm sun.
In, out, in, out.
I am ready for the long run, for the long run.
Doing great, guys. Don't give up. In, out, out. Air breath. Think of the power of the winds, of the move energy. It's invisible yet powerful. In, out, out. Okay, we're moving to fire here. So remember, for fire, just full speed, breath of fire, or as fast as you can. Here we go. 30 seconds, go for it. 5 more seconds. Do your best. 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath all the way in and hold. Hold it, squeeze, feel the energy rising up your spine. You can visualize a white light tingling at the crown of your head. Remember, when we let go here, we're going to buzz breath through our nose. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As you're buzzing, just relax your shoulders. Let it ring out as long as you can. When you run out of breath, you can hold on empty for a few seconds. And on your next breath, you're going to take a slow, deep inhale back in through your nose. So just keep breathing like that, full deep breaths, eyes closed, just dropping into your body, bringing the awareness to each breath as we start to shift out of our mind into our body. Just tapping into that intelligence in the body, that wisdom. Okay, and this one's a little bit slower rhythm, so I encourage you to go a little bit deeper on the inhale. Okay, so we're going to go with the earth breath. So in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. That's it, deep breaths. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. Keep going. I really encourage you to feel that stretch in the rib cage on the inhale at the top. Feel it in your chest as your ribs expand out to the sides, all the way up to your collarbone if you can. In for 4, out for 4. And again, following your breath with your awareness. Into your nose, feel it move into your body, into your belly. Just imagine you're breathing from the tip of your head right down to the base of your feet. Your entire body is breathing right now. Okay, we're going to move into water breath. So in, 2, out, 2. In, 2, out, 2. Each breath a little bit deeper. Just trusting yourself. Just feeling into that power that exists within you. Tapping into that intelligence, the intuition in your heart that always guides you. You are powerful. You are supported. You are loved. You are making a huge difference. Just keep that rhythm going, that flow of water. Just feel the energy of water. Again, it can be very powerful, it can be very calm as it flows through you. To be fluid, flexible, nurturing. In, 2, out, 2. Great job, everyone. Keep that going. Doing great. In, 2, out, 2. Just breathing with the rhythm of the music as you just kind of drift away into your rhythm. Out of your mind, into the body. You are strong. You are powerful. You are loved and supported. In, out. Each breath a little bit deeper. Connecting it with your intention. Intentional breathing. Find your depth. Sharp inhale, full exhale. Relax the jaw, relax the shoulders. Shoulders shouldn't be moving here. Fully relaxed. Great job. In, out. Okay, we're going to move into air here, okay? So in, out, in, out. Remember, just keep your shoulders relaxed. Breathe into the diaphragm, up into the chest. In, out, in, out. Trusting yourself. Clearing the mind, tapping into that intuition within you. Feeling your power. Dropping into your heart. In, out. That's it. Great job. Stick with it. We're doing great. You might start to feel some sensations in your body. Changing a little bit. If you're not feeling it, breathe a little deeper. If you are feeling it, breathe a little deeper. Fire breath here. Remember, full speed, 30 seconds. Give it your best. Here we go. So just feel that fire energy burning through the parts of you that no longer serve you, the limiting beliefs, the worries, the old parts of us. Okay, 5 more seconds. Come into a hold. 3, 2, 1. Deep breath all the way in. Full, full, full. Hold it. Squeeze the top. Squeeze your pelvic floor. Engage your abdominals. Feel the energy rising up your spine. Spinal hold here. Remember, we're going to exhale. We're going to buzz breath. Hum through the nose. Tongue at the roof of your mouth. 3, 2, 1. As you vibrate, drop your shoulders. Relax your body. Relax your jaw. Keep that hum going as long as you can. When you run out of air, just hold on empty for a few seconds. Come back to a slow, deep breath. Bring in all that nitric oxide. Great job. Just going back to the earth breath. Just slow, deep breath. Expansive, gentle. Okay, so earth breath again here. Follow my rhythm. So in, 2, 3, 4, out. 2, 3, 4. In, 3, 4, out. 2, 3, 4. Just breathing with the song. 3, 4, out. 2, 3, 4. That's it. Great job. In, 2, 3, 4, out. 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're gonna go to water breath here. So in, 2, out. 2, in, 2, out. 2. In, out, in, out. Just keep that rhythm going, that water breath. Just feel that flow as it moves through you. Just feeling into your power, your creativity, your ability to do great things, your resilience, all the things you've overcome. Just to witness what an amazing human being you are. Breathe into that. Breathe into the potential that exists within you to evolve and transform beyond your wildest dreams. Breathe into that. Breathe into your specific intention. Breathe in and let it go. Okay, we're going to pick it up here. Air breath. You're doing great, everyone. Just keep that up. So in, out, in, out. In, out, in, out. Sharp inhales, full exhale. Relax the jaw, let it flow. If you have trouble breathing through your nose, you can inhale through your mouth. Okay, if nose breathing is too hard, you can also inhale through your mouth. Just try your best. That's all that matters. Get out of your head. Breathe. In, out, in, out. Keep going, you're doing great. In, out, in, out. Okay, we're going to fire breath here, 30 seconds. Do your best. You know what to do. If Feel that fire burning within you, letting go of what no longer serves you, breathing, doing your best. Believe in yourself. You got this. I believe in you. 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath all the way in. Hold it, squeeze from your pelvic floor for the energy rising up your spine, engage your abdominals. And this time when you exhale, you can hum through your nose, you can om, ah. If you want to let out some noise, you can do that. 3, 2, 1, ah. Right until empty lungs. When you run out of air, just hold on empty for a few seconds. And coming back to a slow, deep inhale, all the way in through your nose. Slowly exhaling. Got one more round to go. You're doing amazing, everyone. Just keep it up. Don't give up now. Just coming back to an earth breath, slow, deep breath here. So in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, and out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out. Okay, we're going to water breath here. 2, out, 2, in, 2, out, 2, in, out. Belly, chest, exhale. Full expansive breaths. Last round. Go deep. Do your best. All the way in and out. In. Breathing through your entire body. Feel the expansion. Each inhale, each exhale. In, out. In, out. Breathing into that inner fire, that life force, the chi, the prana. The breath is connected not only to your nervous system, but to what gives you life. That life that flows through every energy, every cell in your body is connected to your breath. What does it feel like to feel alive? To feel yourself transform, to expand, to change, to grow, to evolve. Keep breathing into that. That's it. Great job. Don't give up. Almost there. You're going to pick it up here, going to air breath. In, out, in, out. That's it. Relax your shoulders. Focus on your breath. Deep inhale, full exhale. That's it. Stick with it. We're almost there. We're almost there. Don't give up. You're doing great. Believe in you. In, out, in, out. Here we go. Final stretch. Give it your best. Final push. Whatever you got. In, out, in, out. You're amazing. You're powerful. You're strong. Beautiful human beings. Okay, fire breath. Here we go. Full speed. 30 seconds. Last one. 10 more seconds. Go for it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath all the way in. Full inhale. Hold it right at the top. Squeeze from the pelvic floor. Engage, holding, squeezing again. This one you let out. You can hum, you can ohm, ah, yell, scream, whatever you feel you need to let out. 3, 2, 1. Just gonna hold on empty at the end of your exhale. A few extra seconds here, just holding on that empty. Just coming back to a slow, gentle, deep inhale through the nose. Slow exhale. From here on out, I just want you to just relax your breathing. Just gonna slow it right down, whatever feels comfortable for you. And I invite you now to think of or remember a moment in your life where you experienced an immense amount of gratitude. Could have been the birth of a child, something someone did for you, something you accomplished, time in nature, just a moment of gratitude that stands out in your life. I invite you to go to that moment as if it is happening right now. Who's there with you? Visualize the sights and sounds, colors, smells. Just allow time to completely stop. And just breathe into this moment. I invite you to bring your awareness to what the feeling of gratitude feels like in your body. What does the feeling of gratitude feel like in your body? Just slowly bring that feeling up to the center of your chest. And on your next inhale, breathing in the feeling of gratitude through your heart. With each inhale, allowing it to expand through every cell in your body. This feeling, this vibration of gratitude. As you feel this feeling of gratitude in your body, I invite you to connect with a younger version of yourself. It could be from when you were a young child, maybe a challenging moment in your life, maybe a few months ago. Just go to that first version of you that jumps into your awareness. I invite you to share this feeling in your heart with yourself, like a beam of light connecting, giving and receiving. Just holding space for yourself. Maybe there's something you need to say to yourself. Maybe there's something you need to receive. What can you give yourself in this moment that you needed then? That you can give to yourself right now. And maybe it's just your presence. As you feel this connection to yourself deepen, I invite you to share just a few words with yourself, but more important than the words, the feeling, to try to feel it in your heart. So just staring into your own eyes and saying thank you. Thank you for all the ups and downs. Thank you for the hard work, the lessons, for not giving up, for getting over hard things and challenges. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Feel that in your heart. Breathe, take a deep breath in, staring into your own eyes, expressing this gratitude to yourself. Again, taking a deep breath in, staring into your own eyes, saying, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being so hard on myself at times, for making mistakes, for hurting myself and others. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Again, taking another deep breath in, staring into your own eyes, saying, I forgive you. I forgive you. Let go of any anger, guilt, shame, regret. I forgive you. You didn't know any better. You didn't have the tools. You were scared. You were hurt. I forgive you. The mistakes you have made, for the lessons. Just try to feel that layer of the onion to peel from your own heart. That comes through forgiveness to yourself first. I forgive you. I forgive you. Finally taking another deep breath in, staring into your own eyes, and saying, I love you. I love you. I love you for being you, for being different and special and unique in your own way. For all of your gifts and all of your perfect imperfections, I love you. You're special, different, and amazing. I love you so much. I love you.
It's a breath work. Learning.
And from here, I just invite you to connect with yourself. Whether you want to reflect back on a moment, maybe something related to your intention, or maybe to step into a future vision of your life that you're creating right now, what that looks like. Free from worry and fear, to unlock the potential that exists within you. So for the next couple of minutes, just allow you to explore this feeling, breathe deeper into your heart, let go of the mind, and just be present to whatever comes up. So I'm just going to invite you to start bringing your awareness slowly back, wiggling your fingers and toes, If you need a few more minutes just to be where you're at, you can just stay there, no problem. And when you are ready to come back, you can, if you want to share in the chat about your experience, if something came up, have some time for live shares as well if everyone wants to speak with or without camera. But most important is if you had an insight or an aha moment or a strong feeling to do something or make a change, just to journal and write it down. To take that insight with you. All right. Okay, how are we feeling, everyone? Anyone have an insight or a realization or maybe a little breakthrough or feeling good? Douglas is feeling good. He's got 2 thumbs up. So one thing right now, you might feel a little bit kind of in the other space, you know. So if you have to go drive a car or do like anything, like maybe you got a meeting right now, it's good to down regulate. So just slowing your breathing down, extending your exhales for a little bit until you like feel fully grounded. You know, even some gentle breath holds that's building up the carbon dioxide back in your body. But if you don't have anything to do and you just want to sit in that meditative space and journal for a bit, I highly recommend that. You know, maybe just some visioning or some light journaling or reflection, maybe some changes you got to make. So yeah, so you're invited to share in the chat if something happened, you had an experience, you have a question, or maybe your intention, something related. But also, if you feel comfortable hopping on and sharing live with your camera on or off, we can take a few shares or some questions about breathwork. And yeah, we got a few more minutes here. So if anyone would like to share, just raise your electronic hand, or just come right on. Oh, Sachin, go ahead, Sachin. Thanks for raising your hand, Sachin.
Of course. Well, first of all, thank you, Gio. That was so beautiful, so special. Thank you for holding space and being such a great leader. For me, you know, just the visual that I went back to a time of gratitude was actually all of us after our Yahe journey in Costa Rica, which is the final of the 4 medicine journeys that we go on at Rhythmia. And I just remember sitting there as the sun was coming up and we were just gathering, sharing our experiences, and the sun is rising and it's just, you know, bathing us in its beautiful light. It was like the first day of the rest of my life. It was pretty cool. And just the laughter, the humanity, the breakthroughs, the tears, the shares that we were experiencing. So this took me back to that space. And then during the last part, just as we were kind of coming out of it, I started visualizing all these animals. And the last animal that came to me was a jaguar, which I know is a spirit animal for many people. So yeah, it was really beautiful. So thank you for doing this and for taking us on this wonderful journey. And yeah, every time it's different and unique, and I go to a different place, and you know, I just feel really excited to go upstairs, give my family a big hug when I see them, and just appreciate this beautiful life that we all have. And um, you know, just the opportunity with each breath to decide how we want to feel moving forward, and how we can forgive ourselves, forgive others, and you know, release shame and guilt that we're holding on to, which are very low vibrations. um, and many of us are holding on to those things, mistakes we've made when we were younger, didn't know any better, didn't have the tools, or we were afraid, didn't know what the consequences would be, and we made a decision that we might be holding on to in with regret and shame. And breath is such a powerful way to release that. So thank you for allowing that to happen for me. Appreciate it.
Cool. Thank you, Sachin, and thank you for all those sharing in the chat as well. There's one question that Jerry had. Um, So you can use it for someone who's sympathetic dominant because it can actually help them to kind of like get out of their mind and kind of get to that reset place on the come down at the end. But also we have another approach called the flow, which is actually instead of like increasing the intensity, which is like up regulation, we have a down regulation approach, which goes like to slower breaths and longer exhales. And sometimes that might be better for someone who is sympathetic dominant. For someone in that state, though, I would also like really work on the breathing mechanics side of it, like just like anchoring their breath daily, slowing down their breath, having a daily practice. So if you have questions about that, Jerry, you can reach out. I can give you some more tips. Douglas would like to share. Go ahead, Douglas.
Hey, Gio, that was awesome. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that was really, really great. Thank you so much. Your voice was made for this. I think I probably am not the first person to tell you that. And Sasha, I can't tell you how grateful I am that I know you and that again, this is just so amazing. I'd love to come up to where you guys are and do this in some space with you guys in person. I think it would just be so powerful. But thank you so much, Sasha, for the putting this on. And Gio, thank you so much. I felt I was connected inside myself from top to bottom, all chakras lit up, being in that space of light at the very end. I've never felt that before. It was incredible. It was amazing. So many thanks, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, beautiful.
Thanks, Doug.
And we haven't announced it yet, but there might be an opportunity for us to all get together and do something really cool in the not too distant future. Me and Sachin are working on it. It's a surprise. So once it's confirmed, we'll let you guys know. I think Steve wanted to share. Steve, you raising your hand there? Yeah. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, I would certainly echo Douglas in thanking both of you guys. Beautiful, beautiful experience. You had mentioned early on, Gio, that you may experience, some suppressed emotion. And when you got to the end and you started connecting with, your younger self, and you said, I think the first was gratitude and being grateful. I started crying, and from that moment on through until all other feelings that you had expressed there. I mean, it wasn't until the end that the crying stopped, right? And and my the focus for that session for me was to let go of all the old beliefs and patterns that I've carried in my life. It's something that I've been working on for a number of years, and I thought this would be another tool that I could use, right? Another experience that I could use. And clearly there was a significant release that happened there. And so I'm super grateful.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Stephen. As a gift, also, we're going to send an email tomorrow and give you guys all 30 days of free access to an app that we have. We're about to release an update, so it might happen this week. I'm not sure, but you get access to Breathwork for 30 days. And my challenge or invitation is to do Breathwork every day for 30 days. You can pick one track every day for 30 days. Start your day with it. I promise you, if you just can be consistent, do 30 days, you're going to feel very different 30 days from now, no matter how good you feel already, So you're going to get that in an email tomorrow. We're also going to drop a link. Do you want to drop the link in here too, Sachin, just for the information? If people are interested in learning more about becoming a facilitator, do you want to save that for the email? How do you want to do that?
No, I can drop it in here. I'll drop it in the email as well. Do you want me to drop the book a call or the opt-in guide?
You can put the book a call. So we put a special another gift together. If anyone is curious to become a facilitator, it's not like a sales call, it's a discovery call. If you have more questions, you want to learn how it might integrate into what you're currently doing, you can just book a call there. And if you book the call within 24 hours, not that you have to do it in 24 hours, just book the call between today and tomorrow. Then our team will know that you're from this webinar. We'll give you guys a special discount if you decide to do the training, but there's no obligation. It's just to see if it's a fit for you. And you can book it anytime in the next couple of weeks. Just if you book in the next 24 hours, we have a special extra discount for this community here. And there'll be more information in the email tomorrow for some other resources if you guys are curious about breathwork. We got two more shares. We got Terry and then Karen.
Did you say my name? Sorry, my husband was talking to me.
Yeah, Terry.
Okay, so interesting. As we were doing the last session of the breath work, the breathing patterns, I started to giggle, which felt almost disrespectful. Like, why are you laughing? This isn't funny. This is supposed to be deep and cool. I couldn't push it down. I just was giggling. And I really was trying to tell myself, you shouldn't be giggling. But what is interesting is I have a hard time laughing. Like all of my kids, everybody are like, they'll watch a funny movie or a joke and I don't laugh. And I've wondered why. And that was super interesting for me to have this belly roll giggling happening as I'm trying to do this breath work. And then it did stop. And then I just started to cry and I cried the whole rest of the time. So um, I have experienced a psychedelic journey, and that is what it felt like, was this, what I call old faithful emotions coming from very deep, just pushing out. Beautiful feelings, though not sad, just so much bliss, so much joy. So powerful. Thank you.
And I think I mentioned earlier, any feelings that come up, like we don't want to suppress them, let them out. They're coming for a reason. Sometimes the reason will be clear, and sometimes you won't know what you're crying or laughing about, but it's okay. So it's something that's kind of moving through you, some energy, whether it's, yeah, it's not disrespectful at all. Like it's good. It's good. So thank you for sharing. You got one more share. Um, Karen.
Hello. So I just want to thank you, Sachin, for putting this together. And Gio, that was awesome. I've done breathwork with Sachin a number of times, and it has always felt amazing. It's like a floating experience. And when you just said, or when Sachin would say, come back, I'm always like, no, I don't want to come back yet. But yeah, always the tears. My gratitude seems to always go to my children being born and and having the miracle next to me. But what I was going to, and I've done breath work with a number of the practitioners that Sachin worked with. So I don't know if they trained with you, Gio. Rita and Savoy and Benedicte. And so, I've been doing that with them, and my intention was two things when you said that at the beginning. One was I just said love came to my mind. And then the last song you played was, what was the song? But it was, uh,
I want to
I
know
can't
what
think of what it
love
was.
is. I want you to show me.
Right. And it kept repeating love. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there is the love. It keeps happening. The other thing is, as soon as we went to the child version of ourselves, the first thing I say is, I love you. And you said that a bit later too, right? So that was love. And then my other intention was, I'm 98% sure I want to do the breath work, facilitating myself, anyway, and this was that's what I decided from all of this. So I think that was everything. Oh, the one thing is, um, I have been doing this every morning and every night, is just taking a deep breath and blowing it all out, and then doing the tight abdomen and pelvic floor and imagining the light. Like I remember that from doing it with Sachin. But today I realized, oh no, it's actually the pelvic floor and visualize the light when you're at the top. Does it?
There's many different ways when it comes to breath holds and different energy locks as well. So
Okay,
yeah,
so it can be at the bottom as well, right? So when we did it today and we got into the talking about the child and whatnot, I found I wanted to keep doing that. So what does that, is that increasing the nitric oxide more, or what is that?
so different breath holds will create different kind of experiences in the body. So there's some breath works where we'll do like a full exhale and hold. So it just has different mechanisms within the body. So like reducing carbon dioxide or dropping oxygen levels in the brain. So they're all a little bit different. And
Okay.
when we start, we encourage people just to follow what we're doing. And then as people get more experience and go deeper into those type of experiences, which will create different reactions in the body. So without getting too technical, if you've had
Right.
experience with breath work, explore that. If you feel intuitively like, hey, I want to stay here a little bit longer, like you can feel free to kind of play with it a little bit, you know, and see where.
Right. Well, it felt good to keep doing that, and yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we do one more quick one? Because I know Sachin's over time here, because I saw Barbara just raise your hand. So we'll get Barbara in last share, and then we're going to sign off, and we're going to send you a bunch of info tomorrow in an email. There's a link there for the discovery call. Well, everything will be in the email. Sachin, it's pretty good. So Barbara, did you want to share? You had your hand up there. I don't know if you actually want to share. Barbara, do you
Barbara, go ahead if you'd like to share.
You're muted, Barbara, so we can't hear you if you're sharing right now.
Barbara, did you want to share? Looks like she's on her phone.
Yeah, you have to click unmute.
Okay, I got it.
There
Can you
go.
hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to share, I mean, I'm sure other people had like physical things like initially, but I just felt in the initial stages of the journey that just like kind of like from my mid thigh down to my feet, it was like waves of like pulsing and like just really warm, and my arms I did as well, just a pulsation type of feeling. And when you mentioned our younger self, it was funny, my eyebrows started to twitch for some reason. I couldn't figure that one out either. But what I really appreciated, your voice is amazing, like it's already been said, but to do like that with the younger child, and it's just a sensitive topic. It you did it so well that I've had previous conversations with my younger self, but the way you presented it, the words, your tone, etc., your pausing, everything, like I definitely had a more profound conversation, which I think is going to really help me going forward. So I'm really happy about that. And then also, when I was closing my eyes after we were doing that part and we were listening to that beautiful music, initially I closed my eyes and there was like just this road that was going out. And then there were 3 rows of people walking towards me. I don't know what it meant, but there were 3 rows of people walking towards me. And then it was like the curtains were parted, and it was all this like yellowish, puffy, like kind of like clouds, I guess, but or just it was just, or whether it was just imagination, like it really wasn't anything, but it was just a very expansive feeling. And I didn't want it to end. Like I did stay a little bit more longer, but it was totally amazing, and I really appreciate the opportunity. And I live north of Lake Satch, and I'm actually, you probably haven't heard of Mount Albert, but I live up north, just close to Vaughan. So I would definitely be interested in this training.
Amazing.
Yeah. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
You and Sachin both.
Yes, thank you. And thank you all for being here tonight. Really appreciate you spending the time, just, doing this work on yourself, just exploring this. And yeah, thank you. And I know Sachin's going to send a beautiful email out tomorrow morning for all of you guys. If you have any questions for me, you can reach out. So thank you. Thank you, Sachin, for having me. I don't know if you have any final words, but yeah, just super grateful to share this space with you tonight.
Thank you, Gio. Super grateful for you. I know I hear Joseph in the background, so I know family's calling, and I want to honor everyone's bedtime as well. So again, wonderful to see you all. Thank you. I love you. I appreciate you, Gio, and appreciate all of you for taking time out of your day to be here for yourself. your past self, your present self, and your future self.
Mhm.
We will be sending an email out, which will have some more details. Gio did drop the link, just a couple spots up here in the chat if you'd like to schedule a discovery call. My encouragement to you, and just my personal input, this is probably the best money I've spent on any single training. It's very affordable, very accessible. And even if you don't want to facilitate, uh, just having this skill set in your back pocket can be super
Mhm.
powerful. If all it did was give me that experience with my father and my mom and my brother, which was like just in the very beginning, if that's all it did for me, it would have been worth 10 times more than the investment. And then it's paid many, many dividends since then. So if you host groups like this, you can facilitate. If you have in-person opportunities, you can facilitate. I'll be speaking next week at Cellcore, facilitating breathwork at Cellcore next week. I'll be at IFM at the end of May. First time ever, they're having somebody come and speak about breathwork, and I'll also be facilitating at IFM. So, they're kind of opening up the doors to allow for this opportunity as well. And they're super excited. Just did a podcast with them on breathwork. So there's just an infinite number of opportunities that can open up for you. And if you're looking to expand yourself, expand your message, and you're looking for a road into communities where you can be of value and create transformation very quickly, you can see, like we did half an hour to 35 minutes today, and you can see that the transformations that took place. I don't know any supplement that can do that for your clients. And I don't know any work that can do that. And it's really creating that space and holding that space for people, which I know you all do very well already, but this is just another tool in your tool belt where you can help people en masse. So I will leave you with that. Have a wonderful evening or morning, wherever you are. Much love and light to all of you. And, take this energy that you've cultivated from our session today and bring that back to your families, bring it back to yourself. And we'll send a link to where you can get the 30-day trial to check out the app that Gio has so lovingly created. Beautiful music, beautiful tracks on there. You're going to absolutely love it. So thank you, Gio, for that wonderful gift, in addition to the gift of your time today. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Much love. Bye for now.